So what does it really take to win $1 million? Is it just about skill? Is it pure luck? Or, is it something else entirely?
Well, let's dive into one of the biggest social experiments in streaming history to find out, shall we?
And this is the number that makes this whole thing tick: $1 million. You have to remember, a prize this massive is going to be the driving force behind every single decision, every friendship, and every single betrayal we're about to see.
So who are we dealing with here? We're talking 50 of the world's most popular streamers. They've all got huge audiences, maybe even bigger egos, and they're all trapped together in this giant glass box. There's literally nowhere to hide, and every single move is being watched not just by each other, but by millions of people online. Talk about pressure. Now, the main rule sounds simple enough, right? Just don't leave, be the last person standing, and that cool million is all yours. On the surface, it sounds like a test of endurance, but is it really that simple?
As we're going to see, staying inside that cube is way less about physical toughness and way more about navigating this incredibly complex web of strategy, social dynamics, and some really high-stakes psychology. So let's break down the key moments and see what we can learn.
All right, first up, the social purge. So the game kicks off not with a test of strength, not with a puzzle, but with an absolutely brutal game of popularity. This first challenge is designed to see who's got the most social clout and who's immediately seen as either an outsider or, maybe even worse, a threat. Here's how it worked, and it's incredibly personal. Every streamer gets one paintball shot. You walk up and you shoot the photo of the person you want to get rid of. The 5 streamers who get the most shots are just gone. It's basically a public vote, but with a paintball gun. Ouch. And right away, this first challenge splits the group into 2 completely different mindsets. The first strategy was just pure emotion. Revenge. You shoot at me, I'm shooting right back at you. But the second was way more calculated. Target the people you genuinely think have the best shot at winning the whole competition. So what does this tell us? Well, it reveals the first major lesson of the cube. Survival wasn't just about being liked. It was about managing how big of a threat you seemed. You had to be popular enough to avoid votes, but not so skilled that you basically painted a giant target on your own back. It's a really, really delicate balance.
Okay, on to part 2, the strategic gamble. So, after that social shakeup, the game shifts gears dramatically. This next challenge brings in a totally new element: calculated risk, reward, and the incredible power of alliances. It's like a classic game theory problem, but, with a Lamborghini.
So here's the setup. Anyone can volunteer for a chance to win a Lamborghini for one of their viewers. Awesome, right? But of course, there's a huge catch. You have to guess when 10 minutes have passed, blindfolded. Only the person who gets closest stays in the game for the million. Every other volunteer, eliminated. It is a massive, massive gamble. And this number, 4, just brilliantly shows you how risk-averse the group was. Think about it. Out of 45 remaining people, only 4 were willing to risk their shot at $1 million for a side prize, even if it was for their own audience. But here's where it gets really clever. 2 of those 4 had a secret weapon. They used what gamers call comms. They had friends outside the challenge circle who were secretly timing it for them on their cameras, giving them this massive, game-changing advantage. And what's so fascinating is that nobody really saw this as cheating. It was actually seen as smart strategy. The other streamers got it. In a game like this, using your alliances is a totally valid move. It's not about playing fair, it's about playing to win. All right, let's get into our third section, the competitor's dilemma. Now this phase forces everyone to take a good, hard look in the mirror and bet on their own strengths. We've tested social skills, we've tested risk tolerance, and now it's all about self-assessment. Are you a gamer or are you an athlete? You have to pick one. And over half the field is about to be eliminated based on that choice. And wow, the choice they made reveals this huge divide. I mean, it's not a huge shocker. In a room full of professional streamers, the vast majority bet on their gaming skills. Only a handful felt confident enough to jump into a physical sports challenge. This quote right here just sums it all up, doesn't it? At this point, everyone is desperately trying to play to what they think are their strengths. The goal is to put yourself in the best possible spot to win. But here's the thing, perception isn't always reality. And this is where the script gets completely flipped. I mean, it's just wild. In the sports challenge, Ludwig, a super strong contender, gets so hyped up he literally walks out of the cube and eliminates himself by accident. Meanwhile, Wendy, who'd never even kicked a soccer ball, outsmarts the goalie with a quick, clever kick.
And then, over in the gaming challenge, the legendary Fortnite pro Tfue gets shockingly eliminated in the very game that made him famous. The lesson here? Pressure makes even the absolute best players crumble.
And if you look at the Fortnite timeline, you can see exactly why. For the first few minutes, everybody's playing it safe. They're being cautious. But as the game's storm shrinks the map, it forces everyone together. The pressure just builds and builds, mistakes get made, and the eliminations start happening fast, all leading up to the biggest upset of the entire competition. No one is safe.
And that brings us to our final section, Architectures of Survival. So, after all these different tests, what have we actually learned? We've definitely seen what fails, but more importantly, what wins. The common threads among the folks who made it to the final 20, well, they point to a few key survival strategies. You know, when you boil it all down, surviving in that cube really required this complex set of skills. As we've seen, you had to navigate social circles, you had to take smart risks, you had to leverage alliances, and you needed a brutally honest understanding of your own abilities. If you were lacking in any one of those areas, it pretty much proved to be fatal.
But just when you think you've got it all figured out, the game changes again. For the very first time, just surviving as an individual is no longer enough. The remaining 20 people have to form teams of 4, and entire teams are going to be sent home. All of a sudden, your fate is completely tied to 3 other people.
And you can literally hear the gears turning in their heads. The strategic thinking just shifts in real time. People aren't just looking for their friends anymore. They're trying to build the most well-rounded team possible, actively looking for players with different skills to cover all their bases for whatever challenge is coming next.
And this all leads us to this one final fascinating question. As the whole competition shifts from individual survival to team-based strategy, what kind of team is really built to last? Is it going to be a team of specialists, the best gamers, a team of all-rounders, the most athletic players? Or, at the end of the day, will the bonds of friendship actually prove to be the most powerful strategy of all? Well, that's what's left to find out.